First of all, let me say, yes, absolutely. Enjoyment is an underrated skill. I love this question because it touches on something that I think is probably not talked about enough. There's so much out there about this hack and this tip and how to do this and how to get more sales and copywriting and all this stuff. But people really overlook the basic importance of enjoying what you do and how much that can amplify your success, your consistency, your commitment, your whatever. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, how much that can work against you in everything that you're doing and how much harder it makes everything. I have a sort of core belief that you can be good at a lot of things. You can only be great at something that you really like to do, right? Or in this case, to use your word, something that you enjoy doing. And I see a lot of people, and I've been this person at times in the past, who they see an opportunity. They're like, I could do that. I could run Facebook ads. There's money there. I could get clients. But I don't love doing it. They fall into the trap a little bit of their own success. Just because you're able to do something doesn't mean you should do it. And I've learned over the years to try to really assess and focus more on, do I enjoy doing that? Do I want to do that? Even when I started this podcast, initially I was like, all right, I'm going to do 12 episodes. I'm going to do an episode a week for 3 months and then we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. And about halfway through, I was like, oh, I'm liking this. I was originally going to do like a season model and have season 1. I was like, no, I'm liking this. Let's just keep going. But if I was like, it's going well, but I don't love doing it, I don't think I would have kept doing it because I would know that ultimately it's only going to be so good if I'm not excited about doing it. And then another piece of this that I think is just as important in terms of enjoyment is you have to enjoy the work, not just the results of the work. And I see a lot of people who are like, I love the money I'm getting. I love the lifestyle. I love the whatever. But do you actually enjoy the work? My newsletter, which I've published every week for 42 weeks or something like that in a row, is actually not hard for me to do because I like writing it. I enjoy actually writing the newsletter. And I think that's why it never even really occurs to me that I'll miss a week or not do it. Like you said, it came out on Christmas and it came out on New Year's. Like I didn't even really think about it. It's like, I like doing it. And so when you find things that you like doing, that makes everything, and especially consistency, significantly easier. And I thought I have a good sort of example or story to share that from my own life that I think exemplifies this. So once upon a time, before I was even really into social media or any of this stuff, I was a journalist covering the movie industry, and somewhere along the line decided I wanted to be a screenwriter. I love movies. I was a writer, etc. Taught myself how to write screenplays, started writing them, got decent at it, had a script that almost got sold, was working with an agent. So like I was making some progress, right? I was quote unquote doing good, but it was always a struggle for me to sit down and write it. Like I had a hard time just doing the work, right? And what I think I came to realize eventually was that I loved the idea of being a screenwriter, the working for myself, the having my own schedule, the being able to be creative, being able to write whatever I want. Like it seemed, wow, because at that time I was working 9-to-5 jobs before. And I was like, that seemed like this would be great. But the actual writing was a slog. And around that time, I started doing social media stuff on the side. I started blogging. And whereas the screenwriting, it was hard for me to get myself to sit down and work on the screenplay. The other stuff, it was hard for me to stop. I found that I just loved it and I was doing it. And I had this realization of I don't love the work of writing screenplays. I clearly love the quote unquote work of blogging and social media and all of this stuff. When you find yourself in that situation, even if I hadn't found the social media stuff, I think that what you want to do is you want to think about what are the elements of this thing that I do like. And you want to try lots of new stuff and try to find things that have more of the things you do, less of the things that you don't like. And the irony is, and this by no means was like deliberate and strategic, it's just my journey and where I've ended up. What's interesting is I've ended up in a place where the irony of my work now is that in many ways, I lead a screenwriter's life. I'm my own boss. I control my own schedule. I'm using my writing and creative skills. I'm writing and serving an audience. I can write whatever I want, but the quote unquote work has changed where I'm not forcing myself to write screenplays that for whatever reason, I'm not enjoying the work. I'm doing the work that I actually enjoy. So it's come full circle, but I think that's the key. I've seen that's a very specific example for me of where I saw the difference between enjoying the work and not, and it being a struggle.